We are live. What is happening, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Good to see ya. Good evening. Top of the morrow to ya. Happy March. Welcome to Hawkwind's Radio Picture Show. My name is Jack Dwyer.
And I'm Jay Smooth.
It's a pleasure to have you guys on board tonight. For those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. It's good to have you on board. If you like the show tonight, please hit like and subscribe. We have a lot of these shows every single Wednesday coming to you live from Q4 Radio in the beautiful, starting to get sunny Chicago, Illinois.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Almost through the storm. But no, we're really blessed to have you guys on board. Again, for those of you who just joined us for the first time, we are a show by Chicagoans, for Chicago arts and entertainment, whether it be music or film or puppetry or whatever it may be.
Or Stephen Flow.
We got pro wrestlers on board now. That's right. A little bit of everything here to tell their stories and talk about the industry and talk about the scene as it is right here in the year 2025. We're working on it.
We've had worse years.
We certainly have.
What was the worst year for you, Jack?
Oh man, 2020 sucked, but I think that's for everyone. You know. How about you?
COVID. Maybe my 10th birthday when I didn't get my favorite Power Ranger.
Oof, that's rough. You know, that's like your first sign of letdown. Find out the Easter Bunny isn't real.
That's when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real.
Oof,
it was terrible.
Wait, he's still alive, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. We have Spotlight Sparkles come on the show regularly. He works for Santa. Of course he's real. But we got a great show for you guys tonight. We have 5 goofballs making some of the coolest post-hardcore music you have ever heard. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Lucky Girl Syndrome.
What's up?
What up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Good to have y'all. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having
us. Thanks.
So for folks who have never heard of your band before, tell us a little bit about yourself outside of being 5 goofballs.
No, that's pretty much it, actually.
That's about the extent of it, yeah.
You someone else talk first.
My name's Lucas. I play the drums in the band. I speedrun Mario 64. That's my fun thing I do when I'm not professionally being a goofball.
Hell yeah.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Tony. I play guitar in the band, one of 2, and I really like Legos. Really like Legos.
Let's go.
Good one.
My name's Jack. I play guitar in the band, and I can solve a Rubik's Cube.
Can you actually? I didn't know that.
It's a fun fact.
We should get you a Rubik's Cube.
How long?
Don't time me. Just hand it to me and look away, and I'll give it back to you, and it'll probably be done.
I can't do that.
I'm sure
Do you just remove the stickers?
Put him back on.
He painted it.
I'm Matt. I play the... Help me out here.
He plays the bass.
And I have a terrible stutter. This is horrible for me.
You lied to me.
All right. My second fun fact is I got married on November 18th, 2020.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm Faith. I sing in this band. Usually my default fun fact is that I can lick my own elbow, so...
Do it.
Do it.
I should have expected it.
Yeah!
Let's go.
That's impressive.
Nuts.
Thank you.
Nice. Flexible. Nice.
Learning a lot.
Yeah, I learned a
That's
lot
true.
about you guys. I'm sure. Did y'all learn anything new about your bandmates today?
Definitely.
I just learned one.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jack could solve a Rubik's.
I didn't
I didn't know either.
I didn't know Matt had a stutter.
Fuck you.
Oh man. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. How long has the band been around? When and where did y'all get started?
Okay. I think it's technically 3 years since the initial conception of said band, but the iteration that exists right now has been around for about 8 months.
8 or 9.
Something like that. Yeah, the
Sounds
better
about
part
right.
of a year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
8 fiscal months.
True.
And we kind of had sort of an established musical style going on, but it didn't really get locked into place until we had Faith in the band. She was kind of the catalyst for something really cool to happen out of the five of us. So yeah.
And are all of you from Chicago too? Where did y'all meet?
I'm the only member that's from Hammond, Indiana. All the rest of them, I think you've all been in Chicago basically your whole lives.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about right.
So I'm the outsider.
We're very much so like a South Side band. We practice on the South Side. The majority of us live on the South Side. So I mean, Matt technically is the South Side of, the border. But
I've been visiting every week for like 4 or 5 years now. So
yeah, so I mean, honorary Chicagoan at that point.
It's
But-
just a commuter, really.
But I'm the only one from the North Side, so I pay like triple in rent and have to drive further. So yeah, it's fun. Avondale, Belmont, and Pulaski. Let's go. But yeah, not too far from here, which is funny. So they all have to drive the opposite way. I just get to go home. So easy peasy.
No, whereabouts on the south side do you guys perform and practice?
Like Western and 16th, right over there by the Metro. Shout out Don's Grill on
Let's
Western,
go.
right over there between the Pink Line. Yeah, it's just a what's the place called again? Music.
it's called Music Zone Rehearsal Studios.
There we go.
I've been renting there for about 5 years now, yeah. And we actually just recently rented a new room. We're all going to be sharing a room together because for a while it was just my other band, End of the Line, and I was letting like a girl play, shut up. I was letting them use the space because, it's my band too. But we all just recently decided to just get a new space that we're all going to be sharing together. A little bit bigger, just have everything together, make it easier.
We get keys.
Yeah, we get keys.
They get
Boo boo
keys.
keys. You remember that from SpongeBob? Boo boo keys.
Are we doing this?
This is a good example of how Matt will try to keep it actually going forward down the rails, and all of us are trying to take off as many parts of the train as we can, watching him just slowly tilt his head down further and further, knowing he's getting more and more serious.
Having all 5 of us in the same room has always been terrible, unless we're being in the middle of practicing writing on something.
Yeah, when we're doing
together.
something productive, it's always fine, we're doing something productive. But then the minute the amps go on standby, it's we're so silly that I'm having an asthma attack on the ground. No one else can move. Pants are being peed. It's just
We don't leave for at least another hour. We probably could have practiced more, but instead we just
run the
kept
set 2
laughing.
times and then just laugh for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
We have a very powerful Midwest goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you?
Oh my god.
Better scooch on out of here. Oh.
Yeah, because then we go outside and then we're still talking.
Yeah, then the cycle repeats.
Now, who's really the ringleader when things veer off the tracks a little bit? Who pulls you back in? and
I
says,
want to say it's
"You're the
Matt.
safe
I
word"?
would say Matt.
It's usually me unless it has to be Tony.
During our first audition for Faith, Matt was the only one asking actual questions that you need when somebody's joining a band. We were just goofing around the whole time, and Matt was asking, what's your work schedule like? Can you do shows on the weekends? Can you pitch in financially? All these things, and we're just laughing around oh, that was awesome! This band's gonna be fucking dope. But Matt made sure everything was gonna align good. So Matt keeps us locked in.
I try. Sometimes I can't tell it myself, but I join.
You're
in.
getting worse at it.
Yeah.
We're taking you off.
I've been getting worse ever since she joined, actually.
In the most loving
I'm not
way.
blaming you. I'm not blaming you. Maybe I was too serious.
Outside of just being goofballs, what else do y'all do to add on to the camaraderie of the group?
We'll do little band hangs. We had a Christmas party after our first couple shows with Faith. And also, we play a lot of bars and stuff like that. So there's always just us hanging around, drinking, hanging out, just after show. So we really spend a lot of time with each other. And it helped that when we started our writing and working on our EP, we were just in the studio for hours hours. Like it'd be like 8 or 9 hour days, like multiple days in a row, multiple weeks in a row. Tracking, writing, just like working on things. And sometimes we wouldn't be doing anything. Sometimes we'd be laying on the floor, just like talking and drinking, like sparkling water
Soleil.
because something, like the Soleils.
Oh yeah.
Just because we needed to like relax and kind of, decompress. But there was always, we're spending a lot of time with each other. So, and also that, there was like a pre-established chemistry between the four of us, because we're what's left of this, former project. So, musically for Faith, she jumped right into an established thing, but also like personality-wise and like character-wise jumped into an existing thing, which is really cool about the audition process, because when we met her, it was a no-brainer. We immediately started cracking jokes, and ever since then, it's just been like one hangout after another. It doesn't really feel like we have work to do.
Right.
And we're lucky there's no like money or labels involved, like time frames, because we could just do whatever we want, and with the full freedom and like excitement that it's just like 5 friends working together.
And Faith, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background and what was it like coming into a group of all these goofballs?
Okay. Yeah, I grew up as a theater kid, so always kind of, I guess, liked being on stage, like performing. I thought I would go into theater, but then I realized I don't really like theater people.
Amen.
As a former one,
Thank you.
I still have some of it that'll happen from now and again. So
Right,
we also
same.
have that.
Never leaves
in
your
common.
DNA.
Yeah, you can take the kid out of the theater, but
All
you know
right.
the rest.
Yeah. But I always loved music. So I guess I knew Jack before I joined. We're on a volleyball team together. And I had just heard a little bit about the band, about what was going on in the band. How they had the last singer left, and kind of, guys, I'm not part of it, so I don't know what I can say. But, so I kind of jokingly suggested to Jack's girlfriend, like, oh, I sing, like, I could join. But she totally was like, no, you actually should. So I think it took me like 3 months after that to actually go and audition.
And we were waiting.
I was scared because I've never been in a band before, and just didn't really know what to expect. But it just like turned out really nice. Like Tony was saying, we're like friends, so we just like we just had this like instant chemistry with each other, so it was just kind of like absolute best case scenario. Because it was like not only as people, like we have a lot of fun together, but I think musically we also have a lot of chemistry together, and we've been just like doing some really cool stuff with it, so it's kind of like a dream.
Dream parlay.
It's kind of like a dream parlay.
Also, shout out my girlfriend Allie for
Yeah.
having the vision
Yes.
of bringing
Yeah.
this together, because she
100%.
saw like what the 4 of us could do instrumentally, and then she knew how good of a singer Faith was. So like in her mind, she was like, "Oh, these things could go together." Pretty crazy, because none of us ever heard Faith sing before
Yeah.
she walked in the room. Like there was no recordings
That
of
is
her
the
or
funny
anything.
part.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like Allie was just like, she's dope, she's good,
She's like,
have her try
"Trust
out,
me."
I think it's gonna be awesome. So she was the one that had the vision of this form of the band.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because we did audition a few other singers prior to Faith, and 2 to be exact. And we both got we got demos back from both of them, which are really funny because they are like some of the songs that are on the EP now, and it's just kind of funny hearing how far it went. But hearing those other people like sing them, and like they sent in demos and everything, and they're like, yeah, it would be really it'd be really cool to work with your band, and it just didn't work out. Great people, great singers, but we never heard Faith sing. And then the minute she walks into the practice space, I'm like, oh, it's over. It's over. Like she didn't even pick up the microphone yet, and I just kind of knew it. Like it was like a premonition. I could see the future.
Very Yeah, you know, you get a rebellious theater kid in front of a post-hardcore group. Nothing but magic is going to happen.
Classic
after that.
combo right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, where does the writing process come from? Is it a collaborative effort? Who brings what to the table?
Normally these two just show up and are like, hey,
Yeah.
20 new songs. And
Yeah.
we're like, okay, which one do you
Absolutely.
guys want to play? And they'll be like, ready, 1, 2, 3. And then they'll play the whole song while the three of us are like,
Nice.
sounds cool, yeah, let's
Great.
figure it out. So that's probably the main thing. But I mean, I think there are a couple songs on the EP that was much more of a collaborative effort as well, including when Faith came. Specifically, Drama Dump. That was one where we had no idea for any kind of vocals or anything, and Faith just like cooked up some crazy vocals. We did it one time in practice, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing else that could be the vocals for this song. Like, that's how the song goes.
Now it's really great, especially seeing a lot of like female lead singers, especially in this genre of music. You know, you see Linkin Park right now. Who were some of your inspirations when you all were organizing this band? Did you look to anyone, or did it just kind of happen naturally?
Well, you know, it's funny talking about that. When the project was first started with our previous singer, it was like a very different thing. It had like a shtick, and I'm not even gonna get into it because it's just like it's not even worth it. But even at that time, I thought like, no, there should be a girl singing this music, like behind my singer's back, which is like, I guess, shitty of me. But like the whole time, I was like, I'm writing vocals for a girl to sing over this, not some dude. And so like, you know, I've always been really into like the classic post-hardcore bands, like From First to Last, Seosin, Under Oath, like, you know, a little bit more on the heavier side of things, you know, and then you got like your Hawthorne Heights and whatnot. And riff wise, it's very inspired by that stuff. Just overly complicated stuff with like beautiful soaring clean vocals over it, and then we'll do some like uncleans and screams and whatnot. And all of us do vocals to a certain extent in the band, whether it's on the recorded stuff or if live, which is really cool. Everyone gets to lend their voice. But you know, when starting the band, because there was no Faith, you know, it was, you know, the influences were kind of coming from
deep.
all over the place.
That was really deep.
Yeah.
Like writing that down. But yeah, we're inspired by a lot of stuff, like modern post-hardcore, like your Swancore and your all that Hail the Sun, big one for us. Circa Survive, another, you know, a lot of ambient stuff. We just pull everything from whatever, because it's all five of us working on it, whether I bring the song, Jack brings the song, or we work on something from the ground up at practice. We're just pulling from anything because there's no like genre or shtick that we're trying to appease to. We just kind of roll with the punches, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, move on to the next thing.
Do you find more women are coming to your shows now?
That's a good question, actually.
No,
I don't know.
I
That's actually
would-
a good question.
I would say yes. After the last show we played, now it's not something that I'm like paying attention to because
21,
Yeah.
22,
Yeah.
23.
It's like I got more
Don't
important
say
things, you know. Like I gotta smoke and I gotta go on stage, you know. But, like, I did notice, and you know, like some of us are queer, some of us are just part of that, you know, community and that you know environment. So like the more people you know, the more people they know. And I noticed that the last show that there was just a lot of people of different demographics and, you know, different walks of life being there, which was really cool because I have played so many shows in front of just like 9 or 10 like dudes, nothing else, and then maybe their girlfriends, but it wasn't like the last show was not like, you know, your friends and their girlfriends. It was like a lot of, you know, differing people, which was, I think, really, really impactful to look out onto the crowd and see, like, these are all people who just, like, who could live, you know, 3-4 blocks away, live a mile away, you know, whatever. They're all from the city, and I think it's really cool.
Representative of Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, melting pot, you know.
Big
Totally.
old melting pot. That's cool. That's really cool. Especially when it gets hot and sweaty in there,
There
too.
you go. It got hot and sweaty.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah.
sweating, like, I was dripping before the set even started.
Yeah.
I was, like, plugging
Yeah.
in my pedal board, and I can't see. It's getting in my eyes. I, like, had to tie up my hair before we even got on. It was bad. It was great, though. It was a great time.
A paddleboard?
Oh, no, before my pedal board.
Busting out the paddle board.
That's cool.
Gotta make it to the show. Me going down the river trying not to fall in. No, but yeah, just plugging in my cables into my pedal board.
Oh, gotcha. Paddleboard. Never mind. I thought.
I speak
ENAs.
fast.
Now, do y'all have any sort of pregame ritual? Anything you like to do before a show? Do y'all do something separately, or do you do anything collectively?
I definitely do, but I've been talking a lot, so someone else goes.
We
I
do.
mean, not necessarily for a show was what I just thought.
I
So
was
someone
thinking-
else could fill in that void, but we actually just did this before coming
Yeah.
here too. We already shouted out Don's Grill on Western. We
Yep.
normally, get a great meal together and normally laugh way too much in there too and worry that that's the last
We
time we'll
clear
be
it
in there.
all
'Cause when we
out.
come out, they'll be like, no, you were
Leave us
so
alone.
loud last time. But yeah, that's probably the biggest ritual for sure.
Yeah, that is a big
food.
one.
Yeah, definitely at Don's Grill specifically, but sometimes other places.
Yeah,
right?
like every once in a
Occasionally.
while. Well, maybe we'll get a pizza, but
That's true.
my pre-show ritual is that I do this thing where I don't change my guitar strings until like 20 minutes before we go on stage. And shout out my friend Noemi from Antillion, another local band. They we were playing with them last night, and she said, like, why do you
Last
always
night?
wait? Or not last night, the last show. I'm sorry. But she was like, why do you always like wait until like the last minute to change your strings? And I was like, a ritual is a ritual. Like the one show we didn't, it wasn't a bad show. It just felt like a little weird. Something was off that night. It wasn't on my mojo.
Because you didn't change your guitar
Because
strings?
I didn't change my guitar strings. Yep. So
It's a good ritual.
yeah,
You know?
now I know what to do for the next one though.
Yeah. You guys have any other fun rituals y'all like to do?
Mine's the opposite of Tony's. I do my guitar strings usually the night before or the morning before, and put on some hockey or a documentary or something, and it's much more relaxed and not as intense right before a show. So the complete opposite of how Tony changes their string. But you got to change your strings before every show, because the
Correct.
one time I didn't, I broke a string.
Well, and
So-
the funny thing is, that was also the one time I didn't, and I also broke a string that show, at book club number 1, because they got a new venue now.
We both broke a string.
Yeah, same song within like 30 seconds of each other. It was crazy. It was the last song too.
Perfect timing, really.
Oh man.
But it is cool though, because I used to hate changing my strings, like when I was growing up playing guitar, because it was such a hassle. But now changing my strings, it's like I get to do this because I get to play a show tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a different perspective on it. It's almost like a gratitude thing, getting to change the strings now.
You get to. You don't have to.
beautiful.
Right.
You have the opportunity to.
Lovely.
I like that.
There's a reason to do it.
How quick can you guys do it?
Shit.
I do like 10 minutes around.
Like, we had a timer on it. You think you can
It's
do it
usually
in
about
time?
10 minutes.
Oh yeah. I think if it happened at the right moment, one would not know that the string broke. You know, like if they didn't catch it after, like if someone was watching us practice and one of them broke a string and then just turned away while the rest of us were
Oh,
talking,
yeah.
they would turn back and you
Yeah.
would not see the broken string.
Like
That's
a
true.
NASCAR pit crew.
No.
Yeah, for real. It's crazy.
I think that's actually happened recently too.
Yeah, I think it has.
Because we were just chilling for a bit after playing a song, and then I see Tony just on the floor restringing. I'm like, when did this happen?
Yeah.
Now, where are some of your favorite places to perform in the city?
Oh, that's a fun question. I like the Burlington Bar.
What?
Yeah.
Which is where your next show's coming up.
Great
May
product
4th.
placement
May
there.
4th.
Yeah, May 4th at
May
the
the 4th
Burlington
be
Bar.
with you.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we are working
Yeah,
on our
we are.
costumes.
Yes, we
We
are.
might be doing something.
Yeah, we
Maybe.
request that anyone come in also in costume. But yeah, the Burlington's a really fun bar and venue. I've spent many celebration there. I've spent 2 New Year's there. It's just a good spot. People are cool. Good venue itself. And we've had that was where we played our first show with Faith actually. We didn't even know she was going to be able to show up that night.
Yeah.
I worked that night, and I got out late, but I like zoomed over after work because I work in Lockport, so it was like an hour drive or something like that. But it was fun. It wasn't. That was my first show I've ever played.
I think she got there by doors, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect
There before the show even started.
Yeah, I did.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out Fallen Log, another great
True.
venue. Hoping to play there again soon. Now that we do have Faith as well, because I think was that show when we were just us four?
Yes.
Yeah.
Last time we played there was just
Yeah,
us
last
four.
time it was just the 4
Back
of
when I
us.
was fronting the band, that was
It
Yeah.
was very rough. If there was any tough
Wow.
time,
No,
Not in a bad way.
no, because they're so right. It was rough.
No.
That was tough.
That was
for
the
Tony.
Yeah,
It was
that was
rough.
the only.
I real talk. If we didn't find a singer, I was gonna break up the band. I was so unhappy because I had to play guitar, I had to sing, and I also screamed a bit, and then everyone else filled in the gaps. But the songs we had written were written for a 5-piece, and there's only so much you can do when you're doing 2 things at once. And for a little while, it was like we're not finding anyone who's gonna sing who sounds good. After a couple auditions, and then that was like in July, and then in like mid-August is when we started like getting ready for the Faith audition, and then everything was fine after that. We're great, but for a little while I wanted to crash the car. No pun intended. No pun intended.
God.
And then you found Faith.
No, literally.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Classic.
say that was like the only time the band ever had any kind of tension, and it wasn't even with any of us. It was just the fact that like we could tell that it wasn't what we could be doing. So there was that a little bit of that work feeling did show up because we were doing more than
It's like going through the motions. they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I want to say one thing because my mom keeps texting me. Hi, Mom.
Hi,
My
Tony's mom.
My mom's watching. Yeah, you can come to the Burlington. Please come.
Yeah.
we need people at our shows. It's embarrassing playing in front of the other bands. So. Love you, Ma. But yeah.
It's another girl coming to the show.
Actually, yeah, the increase of moms has been.
I'll bring my mom too.
Yeah, all the moms are
Mom
gonna meet each
show.
other at the next show, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you for tuning in, Tony's mom. We greatly appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
Send
another
some
thing.
love.
She texted me. She's like Tony, because I go by Anthony to my family. So she's like, "Who the hell is
That's
Tony?"
not what I named you.
It was a real name.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, we appreciate you leaving us some love, Mama. We really do. We also have another comment here too from Ewo says. Ewo says, "Put a goofball on."
Yeah. Shout out.
Thanks, Ewo.
Ewo is when I speedrun, I stream sometimes, and Ewo is someone that I've like met through that, but also like know them through an IRL, but they don't even live in Chicago, so sick getting that out of state support. Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out, Ewo. Thank you. Yeah, if y'all have any questions or comments or anything, please go in the comments section down here. We'll read it out. If you have any questions for us or for the band, please just shout it out and let us know.
That's cool.
Do you guys have any sort of dream venues in the city or anywhere outside the city that you'd like to go and perform?
Subterranean.
Yeah.
Beat Kitchen.
I would love to play Empty Bottle. I don't think we would fit on that stage, but we can make
We'd
that
find a
work.
way.
Yeah,
Find a
we'll
way.
figure
Always
it
find
out.
Like some small stages.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well, the last place we played was a house venue,
And
and
we were
I
on
was
the
the
floor.
only one on the stage.
Yeah.
The stage was only big enough for the drum kit and like the backlined amps. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we could they totally let us figure that out.
We're flexible.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can lick your own elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Empty bottle.
I'll contort.
I think
Anyone
that's.
else got one?
I can't really think of any others. There's like obviously venues like the big venues, but like, it's like there's something about like a really tight show that's just packed in like some burger place's back room. Like that's what I live for. Because like yeah, it'd be cool to play Talia Hall. Yeah, it'd be cool to play the Vic or whatever. But like, you know, at a certain point you lose like the connection.
Intimacy.
Yeah, the intimacy. Like a lot of bands talk about this, but there's something about just like packing like 100 to 200 people. You know, maybe 50 of them. You know, and it's just like everyone's like one person removed. You know, it's like, oh, I walk up to you at the bar. Oh, you're here to see me? Well, I also know your cousin. You know, things like that.
People's coworkers.
Yeah, like just like the smaller it is, I think the more gratifying because like you know people are there to see you. And they're there supporting specifically you or whatever other local band. It's the same with all the local bands. I mean, you can feel the actual support. Because at a certain point, it just becomes numbers, and you don't know people. You don't know who's buying your merch. Like, we don't have an online store or anything like that. So you have to talk to us. You know, for some people, that might be hard. Especially the way we act. So it's like, you know.
Skill issue.
Yeah. But, you know, shout out all the people who bought merch. I still remember the kids who bought our first T-shirt a year ago.
Crazy.
You know, like, it's things like that made me want to become a musician, meeting my local heroes when I was 15, 16 years old. It's stuff like that makes you want to stick around.
Speaking of becoming a musician, can we go down the line? Can we talk about the pivotal moment where you guys decided that this is what you guys wanted to do? Like, music was something you guys were, like, into? Like, do you guys remember that memory?
You go first. I've been talking so much.
Did you point at me or?
Yeah,
Someone on that side, you know?
I mean, I think I was about 7 years old when I decided I wanted to at least pick up drums, just because they looked cool, you know? And drums are a lot of fun. I got okay at them, and then I dropped drums for a while, but it was just something about the idea of just banging the shit out of a drum set as a 8, 9-year-old, whatever, when I first got the kit. Like, that was just so awesome to me, you know? And just, like, imagining being on a stage. I played the winter and spring concerts at my middle and high school, you know, and even not being able to see pretty much anyone in the crowd, just on a stage with a bunch of other musicians playing trumpets and trombones, and there's me on the boom 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 bass there. I've never done that in my life.
That
Where did
was
I come from?
crazy.
I had to summon that one.
That was wow.
Yeah. This band brings out the worst in me. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. Even then, it still took me a while before I decided I want to actually be in a band, be a musician. Because I even dropped that for a while. I think it wasn't till 9 years ago. That's when it really hit me like, okay, yeah, I actually want to be a musician. I want to be on stage. I've been on stage before, but I want to be on a real one, you know? So, I don't even remember what exactly, like, brought me to that point, but it was just, I would hang out with my friend. He would play some Green Day cover or something. I'd just join with him. But just doing that with him is like, you know what? Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I want to do this. Is that enough yapping?
Oh, that's beautiful. I love hearing your voice.
Growing up, my parents they still are big music heads. So they were always playing the Ramones, English Beat, The Cure, a bunch of British New Wave, British Invasion, that kind of stuff. So there was always cool music going around when I was growing up, especially on Saturdays, because that'd be when my mom worked, and that was when my dad cleaned the house. Yeah. So my dad was always fucking cranking music on Saturdays, like as loud as that thing could go. He was always rocking out and cleaning the house. And I remember in second grade, I wanted a guitar. And my dad was like, I'm not just going to buy you a guitar because you want one, but like if you get straight A's, I'll buy you a guitar. And he gave me like a goal to work towards. And that was the only time I ever got straight A's in my life. I remember putting that report card down and he was like, there's no fucking way. But he did it, so I got to get him a guitar.
Awesome.
So I've been playing guitar
so cool.
since second grade. But it wasn't until 8th grade. There's like a festival by my house at one of the Catholic schools. Like they do a carnival, and I remember sitting.
Oh my God!
I remember sitting with my buddy And yeah, it was Fisher Fest. And I remember watching, like, it was like the cover band play or something. And just like the idea of being on stage never really occurred to me until I saw that. And I'm like, yeah, we should
do that.
We should do that. You know, we should figure out how to not be a cover band, but like just perform music and, you know. But so I remember that being a pretty big mindset shift right then and there. And that's pretty much all I've been focused on since that moment.
Shout out St. John Fisher Fest.
Crazy.
Oh my
It's
god.
a good carnival.
For me, like I said, I did theater. I think I started when I was like 8 or 9, and
Shit, can I have some of that?
I just did it because I thought it was fun. I had seen like my cousin in a play, and I was like, I kind of want to do that. That seems fun. And then, but I didn't like take it seriously or anything when I was 9 years old. But then I remember I think I was 12 in like 5th grade, and I was in a performance of Godspell, and I got my first solo.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's when I discovered I actually could sing. And like, I remember like my family telling me they all thought that I was lip syncing because none of them knew I could sing. I was like, what? So that was kind of when I like realized that it was something that I was good at. But I didn't really like develop my own like taste in music or anything until really I got into high school. I would always just like listen to the stuff my parents listened to. So then I kind of like had a really big interest in songwriting when I discovered Mars Argo, if anyone knows. Yeah. And I was really, really into her music, and I was like, I want to write music like that, because I was really depressed also. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you not want to be last?
No, I can go. Do you want to go?
No, I was.
Okay. I'll go. Sorry. My big thing was in the 4th grade. I signed up for a guitar class in my grade school. I was like super into AC/DC, like mega into AC/DC. It was like ridiculous. Like I had every single album on CD. Because at this point, you couldn't get AC/DC's like actual catalog on iTunes. They didn't license it yet. So I had to go onto my mom's computer, open up the disk drive, and then like plop that thing in there, and then like transfer it onto my iPod. I had every album. I had every live DVD they had made up until 2009.
Nice.
I was obsessed. My first guitar was an Epiphone SG, because my parents were not going to buy me a Gibson, 1,000+ guitar when I was like, 8 or 9 or whatever. And that was like the big thing for me. Like I thought AC/DC was so cool because Angus Young's flying all over the stage, and like, and I move around on stage a lot, but he's like, it's crazy. And as a kid, I was like, oh, that's what it's about. Like, like being the lead guitar, shredding and stuff. Then I realized I could not play that well. And then I was like, Malcolm Young is pretty cool, and he just plays the chords. So I'm just going to learn the chords. And that's where I learned how to really hit the strings, because like, if you want it to make noise, you're going to have to hit the strings real hard. And that was like the big thing for me, was just like watching those live DVDs, like going to Half Price Books and getting more, and being like, yo, like I can play at River Plate Arena in Argentina.
And can.
Yeah. Like that was like the big thing. But that was like the catalyst. And then, from there on, I've learned about Green Day and punk and and all that stuff. But yeah, AC/DC, that was the big one.
That's what gets the kids hooked these days.
Yeah, totally.
I like queued up a couple of AC/DC songs the other night, and I was like, this shit rocks. It sucks, but it's so good. It's the same 3 chords for 12 albums. The dude is like, yow!
It's sick.
He's
What
like,
more do you need?
back in black! Like, it's so good.
That was really good.
That was.
I can tell you've listened to a lot of
Spot on.
He's got the family jewels.
I did have that one. I did have
That was a
one.
great DVD with
Yeah,
all the
no.
music videos in it.
Oh my god, it was
It's
sick.
phenomenal.
They had all the Australian releases and everything. Shit was baller.
Because AC/DC was so much cooler than just the music. It was really the personas.
Yeah.
It was like the music videos, the idea. I think the idea of AC/DC was more than just the
The
music
concept,
itself.
you know
right?
what I mean? It's awesome.
Angus dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had one of those too. It came with the box set.
Mm-hmm.
Man, now we're really getting into this. I'm
I remember
exposing myself.
my first real introduction to AC/DC was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 because they've got TNT on that. That's right when you turn on
The
it.
biggest E chord of all time. Oh my god. Down. Like so cool. I could talk about AC/DC for years. You talk now.
Yeah, Lucas, please.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So music. My family has always been super into music. I'm the youngest. My sister's 4 years older, and my brother's 8 years older than me. And he was always in a lot of bands too. And because he was already well along his way, I got to listen to all the music I probably shouldn't have listened to, like only at 6. So where I probably should have started with like classic rock or anything, I was already on like Alkaline Trio and like The Hives and stuff. So I just always really liked loud and fast. But being a theater kid also, I never, thought music was much more for me other than like singing. I really like to sing and everything. And then it probably was, when I was in 6th grade and at my first concert, I saw The Hives. And
that's cool.
I was a pretty gullible kid. There were a lot of things that I couldn't wrap my head around. And that was a big moment, too, because I was like, wow, these are real guys. Like, these are real people right now. This isn't like, I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know why it was such a profound moment for me. And also, it being my first show, I have no concept of, like, touring. They were touring for the Black and White album, but Diabolic Scheme, this, like, really slow, weird song they had on a couple albums earlier, that was always my favorite song. And when they played that live, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, that's my favorite song. And
Like,
then,
how do they know?
Yeah, and then growing up, it felt even cooler knowing, like, wow, they really did just pull that out of nowhere because they were touring on, like, the new album or something. But yeah, so probably seeing them was like enough impact to be like, yeah, I really want to try to do that as well in some capacity. And even at that point, I was still like, I guess I'll just sing. And then I played way too much Rock Band. I was just talking about that outside, actually, because I thought they knew that. But yeah, I just played way too much. One summer, I had my MacBook facing my big CRT recording like expert full combo videos. And I was like, maybe I should just get the real thing. Like, my brother's been in all these bands, and because he had, and my mom was always down to let him all practice in the basement, broken and unused stuff got left there and everything, so I just got this beautiful garbage Franken-kit. Just sounded awful. Like, I was already prepared to play shows because I never worked with working hardware, so anytime something's wrong, I'm like, I kind of expect this.
Roll
Like,
with the
fine.
punches.
And before ever taking, I've only taken like, I don't know, a month of lessons, like when I was younger or something, to make sure I knew what I was doing. I would just have the Rock Band song go and just sit way back at the other end. We lived in a townhome at that time when everyone else moved out, and I lived in the basement. So on one end, the TV was there, and all the way on the other end, I'm like drumming, like looking at the TV, being like, yep, that's yellow. All right, we're going over. And that was it, yeah.
That's sick.
That is awesome.
It's a good way to learn. That game was so great. I think that really introduced a lot of kids into music at a pretty young age too.
Totally.
But it's great seeing adults do it too. I went to this one joint. It's gonna kill me. I want to say it's called like Infinite Gaming or something like that. It's a big game warehouse. People go in. They have all the PCs and everything. But you go in the back and they have a sound room with all of the GarageBand setup.
Oh,
They
I know
have
what you're
lights,
talking about.
Sound room, yeah.
Yeah. Is it on Elston?
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Elston and what?
Ignite.
Ignite.
Yeah.
Elston and what? Where is that?
Oh, in like Sacramento or something, dude. And it's been
That's
there.
like
I don't know if it's
Avondale.
still there, but it's been there for a while. It's been there since I was
How
in
do I
high
not know
school,
about
dude.
this?
Should we go?
That's a
Yeah.
good.
I
Me
wish
and
we
my
could go.
friends.
Brothers tournament.
So Lincoln Park High
Yeah.
School was like a music school or whatever. Me and my friends would all ditch school and then go to Ignite get the rock band room and bring like a bottle of tequila. And just play rock band for like 4 hours until we got kicked out because somebody was too drunk. Good times. It was the best times in the world.
Nice.
But anyways, yeah, that room in the back.
Shout out Ignite.
Amazing.
Ignite Gaming.
Rock band all fucking day. That shit was dope.
Surrounded by gamers.
Fucking nerds.
Join us. Join us.
Crazy.
It could be worse. You could be in a room full of theater geeks.
That's
I mean, half of us.
Shots fired.
Half.
Jack, we want to be nice.
I don't
1,
think you don't
2,
point that at me.
3. 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Quick math.
I can't do
Bunch of
math.
girl math.
That's why I'm a musician.
Oh, man. Now, you guys have a new EP that you just released. It's called It's Just Too Easy. Can you tell us a little bit about the recording process for that?
We got to do it all ourselves. We recorded everything start to finish all on our own. Matt was the main engineer. Tony was the other engineer. And they used their music wizardry and made everything sound awesome. We started with the guitars and then did bass, drums, did vocals last. And we did it all in Matt's studio he has. So it was a pretty fun process.
Yeah, doing the lead and rhythm guitars took 1 full day. I think we did an actual like 9 hours, something like that, right?
Minus
Yeah,
the,
you got,
the
like-
dawn break, but yeah.
That's true, yeah. Always Don's breaks.
Shout
But
out Don's.
yeah, we got all the guitars done in 1 day, front to back. We just ripped right through it. I think it took a couple weekends for me to go in because I got sick.
Yeah, there was a
Oh, yeah,
fungus
And then
going
I got
around.
sick.
Yeah, when you were
Yeah.
gonna do the vocal.
Yeah, there were some delays, but
But it overall went pretty quickly.
Yeah, when we were
Yeah.
in the studio, it was like, like I know we like to goof around a lot, but because there was like a clear goal and a clear vision to be had, we just powered through it. Like, I mean, Faith in the vocal booth was crazy.
Oh my god.
I mean, vocal day did get a little bit crazy.
Yes. I think
Like I
that
said-
was like a 12-hour day.
There was
Well,
an
we did
issue
2,
with
right?
The second
yeah,
vocal
the
day,
second
yeah.
vocal
Yeah.
day I think was
Oh
like
my
12
God.
hours.
the
The first
first-
one was a flop.
Yeah, the first day we got interrupted by one of my neighbors who was just playing. I don't even want to relive
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Everyone's already getting mad. But yeah, you
That's
basically
what it
had
sounded
that
like.
at full
Coming
volume.
through
there
the door.
was a DJ practicing for
Practicing.
his set that he
Just
was
hit
about to do.
play. Like,
No,
But
it
he had to
was-
be at performance volume. So I'm like,
also isn't.
I even knocked on the door. I asked him like, "Hey, what's the deal here?" And he said he had like an hour or so left. So we went to go eat. He came back,
Got
finished
one
the
song done.
That was the most stressful Don's there ever was. I wasn't there for that part of the day, so I showed up and I could tell that morale was down for
It
the
was.
first time I'd ever
It
been in
was-
this band.
yeah,
I was like,
it
oh,
was
something
not
like
good.
happened.
Yeah, that
You
was
know?
that was the only bad day that this band has really
Yeah.
had. I think. Well,
No,
this
I mean,
iteration
for-
of the band
yeah.
has had.
oh yeah.
For me. And I'm hard to upset, but I was upset. It was
All else
very
fails,
frustrating.
There's always Stacy from Dom.
No, literally.
True.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
man is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
He gives a shit.
Shout out Stacy.
Yeah, shout out
Stacy.
Stacy. We've said it like 8 times already, and I'll say it 8
8 more
times
times,
again.
yeah.
That's like our spot. Man.
So now, doing the whole recording process, did you pick out which songs you wanted? Was it a group effort to vote on them, or how did that process?
We
go?
kind of knew what songs we wanted to record. There was like, we only had 5.
Yeah, we had a set
There
of
was-
like
I
5
mean-
or 6 songs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
there was-
when it was just the 4 of us, I wrote a few songs that ended up being, or I guess one song really. Now that I think about it, the
Fry
song
Bomb?
I don't listen to songs about car crashes. That's our
Oh,
first
that's
song
worse.
on the
Okay.
EP. That was one that I wrote in my car actually, which is pretty funny.
Hey, that's in the title.
Yeah, like I'm thinking about cars, and but that was like the one song that like we had in the previous set list that I would sing, and then our second song on the EP, Bedbug, Jack wrote and would sing that when we were still a 4-piece. Third song on the EP is a song called Drama Dump. That was the first song we wrote with Faith. Faith wrote all the vocals for that. And then fourth song, Graphic Redesign, same situation. Faith wrote everything for that. And then we got to Claymation, our 5th song. And that is when things got a little tricky. Not tricky, but it was it was the first song we ever wrote instrumentally in a room together. And then I wrote the lyrics, but the lyrics were just kind of like gibberish. not gibberish, but
I like that song.
No, it's my favorite song too. But I was writing about like clay. And like
Yeah.
pottery, like in the
Yeah.
most vaguest way.
There was a reason for it too. I can't remember, but like that didn't just happen.
I know,
Like clay was somehow.
It
on
was.
the mind.
It was like a-
the way what happened was we wrote half the song, and like it was kind of still like murky. We didn't really know what it was, but we had like half a song, and right at the end we finished it. I go, we just put the clay on the fucking table. It's like now we could mold it and do whatever we want with it, and that's how the clay
Claymation, that makes
the
sense.
clay stuck.
That was the working title of the song for a little bit too, until I finally decided like, hey, let's just call it Claymation. That's cooler.
Yeah.
But for a while, I was having to save, put the clay on the fucking table, all caps and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we became a 4-piece, we had a show booked, right? That we had to get set together for it. We had to write an entirely new set list, and that's where a couple of songs on the EP, as Tony just mentioned, that's where that came from. But there were a couple that just didn't make it. It wasn't until Faith joined. She didn't really feel one of the songs that we'd written in that emergency set.
Emergency.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But and then there was another song that I think Lucas and I just hated, so that just was not a keeper.
Oh, that
I never
song.
even
Yeah.
heard that song.
You know, I'll play
It's
it
not
for you
even a bad
sometime. It's
song.
not a bad song, but I was just like,
it's just like I hate playing it.
I was going through some shit when I wrote those lyrics too.
I
I was
never heard that one.
yearning
True.
hard.
Yeah.
Never yearn, kids. Never yearn.
Yeah, those were
Only urinate.
those were riffs that either Jack or Tony came forward with. But Claymation, that was like the magical one where
Man, that song's still.
that was the first time that we actually just
really
sat in a
good.
room to write a song collaboratively.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Like it makes me
And it
want.
just came out of nowhere.
It makes me want to run around the block. Like the energy that it sends into my veins is just like it's insane.
Yeah.
And then Faith wrote some vocals for the bridge of that too, which really just changed the entire song because during that section when we played it as a 4-piece, we're just jumping around stage, like it's a very ambient, like very like shoegazy type of like heavy hitting part, but with Faith adding some really cool like slow vocals in that part, it just makes it.
Ethereal.
It's super dreamy.
Oh, and especially on the EP, like live, you can hear what she's saying, and it's cool because like you get to like
No,
listen. But on the EP, they're buried in the mix.
Yeah, the way you mixed it is so cool.
It's super cool. There's a lot of like just like it's super wet, a lot of reverb, a lot of delay.
Me too.
Sorry.
I'm an engineer and I hate the word wet. I don't know what to tell you.
Dry. The dry signal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have
That's a
headphones
me
on.
move.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
They did a lot of that on vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone had
On
their
vocal,
headphones.
you just hear weird noise because I had my in-ears in.
We're
I
all
think I got
wearing-
Tony in-ears for that too, headphones. So we're all just like trying to like listen for what she's saying, and then you'll just hear, Faith, what are you doing? Stop.
She'll be like, oh, I forgot this is on. Or I think as a joke, she like called Tony an asshole or something like that, and Tony was like, hey, and she's like, oh, whoops, sorry.
But that's how the end of Bedbug came to be.
True.
Hey, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
God, yeah. So if you listen closely at the end of our song Bedbug, which it's the second song on the EP, I say poggies. And that was just because I happened to say that while we were recording, unfortunately.
So it was also safe.
I had such a good run of just accidental catches of
Yeah.
the stupid things people were saying. Like you can hear Lucas screaming at the end of
Oh,
graphic
that
redesign.
one's really
And then,
good.
no, that was good.
To answer your question though, what is Poggies?
Oh, that's what you said?
Oh,
What
whoops,
is
sorry.
poggies?
What is
Oh,
what are-
okay.
You know, like PogChamp? Pog.
It's like gaming stuff.
Yeah.
On Twitch, emotes and all that.
Brain rot.
Yes.
Gotcha.
brain rot.
Nerds.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
we basically
Nerds.
got her to say something stupid
Yes.
while it was still recording.
And
And
then
decide,
put it
at
on the
at that
EP.
point, we weren't even necessarily going to have it on the EP. We just wanted it to be like the prank for when we all listened to it.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
had to hear herself say
Because I
"Poggies" at
just
the
caught
end.
it. I think Jack is the one who saw me do it because I just hit
Really?
space, cut it. And then when she gets to the end of the song, she finishes the outro the first time. You just hear Puggies.
Which I genuinely don't remember saying.
Yeah. I think you were kind of upset at first. Not like, not
Like,
little bit.
mad, but
not
I
like
was
mad,
like,
but you were
I
like,
was like,
no,
what?
there's no way
Guys.
this happened.
Now it's on a CD.
Now it's burned
Right.
onto a CD.
It's out there.
Yeah, like 100 of them.
Specifically 100.
Yeah.
So.
Now, where did the name "It's Just Too Easy" come from?
That happened when we were writing our emergency set list.
The yearning song.
The yearning song. I sent my guitar part to Tony, and he didn't send me anything back for it. And then the next time we went to go write, I'm like, do you want to play the new one? And he's like, yeah, I got a part for it. And I just counted us off, and we played the whole 3-minute song straight through, like 2 perfect guitar parts, like we'd practiced it our whole lives. And then Matt was recording, and I just looked at Matt, and I was like, it's just too easy. It is just too easy. And then it stuck.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a little catchphrase
Yeah.
now.
Also, to just go with like how the band's like progress has been, it's just been very planetary alignment
Yes.
kind of stuff. Just happy accident or able to turn things into our favor, thankfully. So kind of just went
I have
along
never
with that.
had. I've never had any job, any project, and nothing I've worked on has ever been this easy. It does itself. Literally, just like everything sets itself up. All I have to do is show up and just do the right thing. You know, just play your instrument, hit the space bar. That's basically all the work I've had to do. Is just show up. Everything else is pure vibes. It's literally just too easy.
It's just too easy.
It sounds like you are lucky girls.
How did that name happen?
How did that name happen? Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta shout out my friend Veronica for that. We were at a bar in Logan Square called The Native, and we're
Shout out The Native.
Yeah, shout out The Native, cool spot, cash only, and
Let the people know.
yeah, I gotta let them know.
Gotta let them know.
They got an ATM?
Yes, they do.
All right.
We were at the patio out back, and they have this really cool, a bunch of tables, like umbrellas, and then when it gets cold in fall, there's like heating. And we were sitting there one evening, and we were talking about the band, and we had like another band name, and it sucked, like so bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah, not even worth repeating, to be honest. And we needed a new band name, and my friend Veronica was this was when like that Lucky Girl Syndrome trend was going on TikTok, and that's where she got it from. And she was like, she just had like offhandedly mentioned Lucky Girl Syndrome, and I was like, that's it, that's the band name. I immediately texted the group chat, and they were like, lock it in.
Yep.
And then immediately after we went into like making logos and stuff, but it was perfect. So shout out my friend Veronica for giving us the band name, because we would have not lasted like a month and a half with that other band name. It was really bad.
It was Man I Love Fishing.
Thank you.
Oh no, that wasn't even the one I was thinking about. I forgot about
Oh
that.
my, there was
There was worse
Yeah,
ones?
there was 2.
That was the only one I
didn't want to
remember.
mention that. That's cursed knowledge. But
That was
yeah,
actually
there's
that
2.
wasn't a joke. That was actually
No, that was
People were
that was
serious
really-
about Man I
That's
Love
awful.
That
Fishing.
was the
Really
second
gunning
name.
for it. Really gunning for it.
I'm so glad you didn't have that as a name.
No,
That was-
it
I
was
would not have joined.
So
Oh
bad.
yeah.
You
no,
wouldn't have joined
I would-
MILF?
Yeah.
No.
Because before
Bazinga.
that was, before that was the stupid joke. I thought the phrase "Man, I Love Fishing" was like a funny band name. Just like in the genre of like band names are like entire sentences and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it has a comma in it, where fun, quirky punctuation.
So you did
and
it
then
touch
and
on
then
to-
someone laughs and is like, "Yeah, MILF," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, this sucks. This is the worst idea ever."
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna invite my mom to a fucking show and I'm called MILF? You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
embarrassing. So like, that wasn't gonna fly.
Yeah.
Good call.
But now this band is respectful towards women.
Yeah.
There you go.
True.
Lucky Girl Syndrome stuck.
Oh.
It was a no-brainer right away.
Yeah. The only real problem with it is that most people, when I tell them it and they look it up, they're like, "Oh, the K-pop song."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna hear that every time.
I
That's
I haven't heard that
Not
yet.
forever.
actually,
Well, because
so
I
that's
don't
pretty cool.
think it's the best joke. So I think maybe the people you're showing it to, they're like, "Oh, obviously it's not the
Yeah, right.
K-pop song with like 30 million listens in a music video." You know, like.
Yeah, we just wore different costumes. You know?
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't listened to this. Actually, it's kind of weird.
Like my name's on
That
it,
song
so
is also good too. Like, it's not even a bad K-pop song, but you know, that's not
Yeah.
us.
Never heard it.
I'm
so.
not. I don't
You-
listen to
you-
it.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
you
you have
guys
some
don't need
listening to take care of after
Yeah.
this. I gotta check the song out.
And you guys got some pretty cool merch too. I saw your hoodie earlier. Do you mind showing that off to the camera?
I got hot, so I took it off. So this is a good time because also, you know how my mom was texting me earlier? She was like, "Who's on your T-shirt?" When I took off my hoodie. So first of all, the hoodie. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So that's our hoodie. It's in a light pink, like a baby pink. These are kind of a limited edition now because we sold a bunch of them, like straight off the bat. So we're actually going to end up doing a merch pre-order soon. So we'll be announcing that on our Instagram. Probably go through a different design maybe. But the guy who prints our merch, and that's my fucking boy, Mr. Mike from Modest Merch.
Let's go.
Let
Hey,
me move
shout out
my
Modest
beautiful
Merch.
hair so I can show off this guy. This Mike is a homie. He is a fucking awesome printer. He takes care of everybody in the scene. Super fast turnarounds. Got good
Insane.
deals.
It is
crazy.
crazy.
Like, he
Great
already made
quality.
them.
Um,
And we just happened to pick the colors he already. Like, it's that.
No, it's crazy. Like it's just he's a one man show. You know, he's got this nice little warehouse shop thing on the far north side. If anyone's familiar with like the Niles Chicago border, he's still in Chicago, but like right across the street from the Leaning Tower of Niles. If anyone knows that Chicago landmark, but dude is the coolest. I mean, he's one of the hardest working dudes I know in the scene. He takes care of his people. We take care of him, and all of our merch is printed by him. There's truly, honestly, no one else I would rather print because, like, again, his work ethic is great, and also his shop is by my mom's house, so I always get to visit after
Let's go.
I pick up the merch or something like that. And it's just he's a good dude, you know, like he'll take care of you. So anyone who needs merch, hit up Modest Merch on Instagram. That's my boy Mike.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Now, who does all the designs for you guys? Is it through Modest Merch, or do you guys do that?
So,
independently?
design-wise, well, the logo was made by some British guy whose name I do not remember because that was taken care of like at least 2.5 years ago now or something like that.
Yeah.
But design-wise, like you know, we want to do more like art design. So any artists who want to work with us, you know, please hit us up because the person who did the EP art is Lucas's partner, Jess.
Shout out Jess.
Yeah, shout out Jess.
At Cozy City Reveries.
Yes,
Yeah,
They're so cool.
They've been doing art for a long time. Normally, always like traditional in terms of like pen and paper kind of stuff. Super detailed. I would call it like hyper surrealistic because like the details are very realistic, but it's always like a fantasy kind of thing. But yeah, they're kind of like the in-house artists when it comes to like that kind of design stuff. But you know, we don't necessarily want to put the album cover just on a shirt yet.
Yeah, and it's also like a very complicated album.
Yes.
Album cover.
There's
There's
a
a
lot
lot going
going
on. So what we think we're gonna do is just like pick a couple guys off the cover, put them on like a shirt or something. Because we've definitely really want to do some more like creative, you know, shirt designs and art designs
That are not just the logo.
exactly because
Yeah.
the logo gets overdone a little bit.
And again, you said that you could pick up some merch at any of your shows, and then eventually through your Instagram you'll be posting it.
Yeah, we want to do a little pre-order, just because a lot of people were asking for hoodie sizes that we just didn't have, and I never like I totally underestimated like how much people would like our stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm obsessed with the hoodies. I wear
They're
mine all
so
the time.
nice.
They're so nice.
You're so nice.
And super cute.
And then like I sleep in mine, so like I fall asleep after work, and it's just like, nice and cozy. So a lot of people want those, so we'll make a post about it, make a link or something, and then we'll just take pre-orders, and then after a couple weeks we'll have some new hoodies.
Cool. Shout out Modest Merch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out
shout out
Modest
Modest
Merch.
Shout out Jess. They're super
Shout out
talented.
Jess. yeah, if anyone needs any artwork commission, their DMs are open. Their turnaround's pretty good, very fair prices. They take a lot of ideas and are able to put their own spin on them.
Well, that's another thing. When we had Jess commissioned for this EP, we did not give them a single bit of direction. We said, listen to all 5 songs back to front. You know us. Just draw whatever you think is the most characteristic of the EP and us 5. And it is genuinely one of the coolest pieces of art I've ever seen.
Yeah, they
I
blew
want
it
it
out of
printed.
the water.
I want it on framed on my wall.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and then they added little Easter eggs that kind of for each of us that they put in there. It's super cool.
Yeah. I had got them to give us backlog of stuff that they had scanned, but it was years old. They don't necessarily want to use it. And one of the first sticker designs that we made was Tony picking one of those pieces, and Jess thought that was so cool that they did that in the bottom left-hand corner, it's those little flower guys where one of them's issuing the other guy onto the scene you see, and that's a little Easter egg for Tony. Or there's a little tarantula on one of the big guys in the background for Faith. Or mine and Jess's dog King is the greyhound that's there.
Yeah.
So
It's very cute.
yeah.
Now, what's next for you guys? Where do you like to see yourselves 5 years down the line?
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot of time.
Can we start at 5 months?
Start there.
5 months, we'll have a new EP out.
Yeah.
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 100%. There's no way that we wouldn't. I'm putting it out there.
No, you're so
Because the
real
thing
for
is,
that.
Speak it into existence.
the way we write is.
What just happened?
We write feverishly. There's always something that we're working on. I think Jack and I have 15 demos.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It keeps growing.
Yeah, we just keep going, and some of the songs probably will never see the light of day. But I'd like to get. I don't like when bands take too long to release music. Not even just I'm not even all the algorithm and attention span stuff aside. I just love when bands pump out music. If the fire is burning,
Oh yeah.
keep it going, because I think it's just so fun seeing the progression of everything, because I guarantee the next EP we release is going to be very different from this first one.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then the third one after that, because we have a concept. The third one after that would be slightly similar to the second, but still moving forward. And I get bored. Literally, playing shows is awesome. It's awesome hanging out with the band and practicing, but if we're not doing anything and we're just sitting there, I'm gonna get antsy, and I don't want to have to start writing and writing and writing for nothing. So I think getting something out sooner than later is at least my goal. But I also understand Matt and Jack are in other bands. So is Lucas, actually. And with everyone's schedules and work and stuff, it's a tall order, but also with how fast we work on things. And I also think the next couple releases we're gonna do are not gonna be mixed and mastered in house, just to remove that out of the equation. We'll play some shows, take the money from the door cut, and send it out to some guy to mix and master it. So then we don't have to worry
Some
about it.
guy.
Yeah, we're not gonna put any thought into it.
Nah,
Shout out some guy.
love your work so
Shout
much.
out some guy.
I'm sure we already have a couple guys in mind.
Yeah, no,
Work with bands
not-
like
not just
that
some
band.
guy.
no,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be some guy, but
For
for the for surprise's sake, we'll say
We'll say some guy.
yeah, some guy.
Some guy.
But just I think getting something out sooner, at the very least, a new single, for the summer or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just to keep things moving, yeah, that's basically it.
We're not gonna comment on that.
No farting back there? What's going on?
Not gonna be that song.
Oh my god.
I can already feel it.
Oh.
Don't they?
No Dante. Oh my god.
How often should a band release EPs?
Every day.
Yes.
Heard it here first. Everybody is fucking up.
They're working, yeah.
For an EP, every 6 months, maybe, depending on how much.
No,
I mean,
no, that checks out.
Depending
It's
on how
not
long
bad.
you want to make each EP, depending on, how many songs you might have in your backlog, you could put out an EP every at least 6 months, and just keep that going for a while. I would think.
No, that's what I was thinking. When I said 5 months, I meant more 6 months, I guess. Because
One off. You were right there.
Yeah, it's like, what
I
a
feel
way.
like it depends. I mean,
Round
I
up.
think if you're putting out music like that quickly all the time, like things can get stale.
Yeah.
Get
Like
burnt out.
yeah, right. You'll get burnt out. Things will all
important
start to sound the same.
Right.
Yeah, but the important thing would just be making sure you're keeping it,
Fresh.
keeping a
Fresh
variety.
and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's not hard for us.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but we're all but we're still starting out with a ton of ideas in our mind. I feel like sometimes you hit a creative wall and like forcing yourself to put stuff out is not the move.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also there's just like a lot of untapped stuff with this band. We still haven't we're about to go into writing sessions this April. We're just gonna get in the rooms for 8 hours a weekend and just like
I'm so excited.
it's
About it.
the last time we did like a writing session, we all crammed into Matt's room and we just did whatever.
It's
Just
the
like
coolest thing ever.
It is the coolest song you're gonna hear.
oh my god, that's why I want to get new music out so quickly, because like this next song that we have like in the barrel is one of the coolest things. Very like reminiscent of your classic like metalcore and post-hardcore, but also just like a new edge to it. And I think, I think that's after that writing session for that song, it just put like an itch in all of us that says, we want to get in and just work on whatever, because we have songs that we're like sort of working on, and I also just want to get in with them and write something from scratch.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff. I mean, again, bing,
job.
bing, bing. Our song Claymation is it's a high point in our set, because we all had such a collaborative input into it, and also it's just it's a crazy song in general, so it makes you feel something different when you're out there playing. So I want to capture more of that with those writing sessions.
Yeah, not to say that like them, like Jack and Tony, having this backlog and the rest of us like working on that is like bad, because it's not. It's an amazing formula and has made some great songs. To piggyback off of the the potential stuff, not only just writing collaboratively, but like Matt brings just a bass line up, I bring just a drum part up or something, and not even that we have to do that specifically, but just that there is like untapped potential, and these songs that we've written collaboratively in those writing sessions just like continue to like make that known, because it's like, wow, that was crazy, but we know that there's more than this still.
And what are some of the messages you want people to receive through your songs?
Clay.
Have fun.
By Clay.
Big Clay is calling to you. But like Matt said, have fun. Don't be a dick.
Just enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
I wrote
Really?
a song about Jurassic Park. Like none of our lyrics are like profound.
Yeah.
Like the profoundness comes from how much chemistry we have and what we're looking like on stage. But the lyrics themselves, they vary. You know?
I think it depends on who's at the mic.
Yeah. If Faith is writing it, it's like a beautiful song with meaning. If I'm writing it, it's like I'm writing about dinosaurs. So it varies.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix, but like no matter what, I mean, like when you write, it still sounds super deep. I'm like,
Yeah.
like I still think there's things to get out of it,
Thank you. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
The having fun. Something I like to always say is that sometimes you have to be the first person to be a fool in the room for everyone else to feel okay with being a little And that's what I think this music is perfect for. It's like, you know, it really doesn't have like a firm place to stand in the sense that like we're trying to have it be something. Like it really is all of us just like putting that out there, and now it's just super fun, wild music to listen to. And, you know, you go from a really fast, silly song like Graphic with somehow Faith having actual deep meaning, and then you go to Claymation that's like making you feel something because we're playing slow for once, and that's got to mean something too, you know. So.
Except that we're just saying absolute gibberish.
Yeah, like yes.
I think another thing that's like important in this scene that I think we're trying to cultivate is just like a safe, respectful space for, like Tony was kind of touching on, you know, like the queer community, for like younger people, just like trying to be a welcoming group, so that, you know, because I mean, it's heavier music. I think that can be intimidating, like come off as like everybody's scary, everybody's mean, but I don't know, I think it's important to have like safe spaces for people to get into music, to just like mingle and meet just kind, respectful people as well.
And what's some of the feedback y'all are getting from your listeners?
Oh, it's been nothing but supportive.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild.
It's genuinely one of the fucking craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've made a lot of bad music in my life. And it's crazy. Like, our song Graphic Redesign has, like, more than, like, 3,000 streams. And it's only been out for, like, a month. Which, like, I guess to some people this isn't much. But that's 3,000 times someone consciously made the decision to
That's
turn
so
on one of our
crazy.
songs.
Yeah.
And it's not just people in Chicago. We have a fucking ton of fans in Brazil.
Yeah.
For
Shout
some
out
reason.
Brazil.
Yeah, shout out Brazil.
Shout out our
Latin America and South America are taking care of us on the streams and
That
the
arena in
That's
Argentina.
Spanish.
yeah, that arena in Argentina is coming closer day by day.
You're closer now than you were back then.
It's just like
Sorry,
it's crazy.
man.
Like people genuinely enjoy this stuff, and it's like
Whoa.
stuff that I wrote in like my bedroom. Like specifically, Graphic Redesign was a throwaway song. I was like, hey, this might be fun, Jack, try it out. And then he wrote some of the coolest fucking shit I've ever heard. And then Faith got on it, and that was the craziest part because Drama Dump is like a slower, chiller song, and then Graphic Redesign right after that is like balls to the walls, crazy, like riffs all over the place. Not a second to breathe. It's hard to play.
It's really fast.
It's very fast,
Yeah.
and we play it 10
play
times
faster.
faster live. And she wrote those songs within a week of each other, or presented them to us, I should say,
Yeah.
within a week of each other.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know how
I
long your
I wrote
process
them
was.
with each other.
Oh, cool. Like it's shit like that.
It's
That it's
just-
like wow, you know, and it's like. And for a throwaway song that was written within like a week, you know, or not a throw. I don't want to say a throwaway song because it makes it sound like I don't care, but like, you know, for just like a song, for it to like actually resonate with people and like, you know, we ran an Instagram ad with that and it went crazy. We got like 300 followers in like a few days, like incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I've like done music in Chicago for a bit. Only ever just DIY stuff. Only ever released music on Bandcamp, really. So even just to have like music sound like it's not just you know DIY or something, which doesn't have a problem, but like it has that feeling of like, wow, this is an accomplishment of sorts. You know, this was the first time I had like recorded drum tracks on their own. You know, like I had always recorded with at least the rhythm section together playing live, or normally it was always the entire band playing live. So even that like small difference is like such a crazy thing to like think about the fact that this is resonating with people, and yeah, because it's the first time for a lot of us in that way. I mean, this is Faith's first band. That was Tony's first time recording to that extent. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's really cool to make music that I also like to listen to.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm-
the biggest one.
Yeah,
Wild
and
idea.
I'm like the singer, and no one likes to listen to themselves talk, but I still am like, these songs are so good. I
Yeah,
can't help it.
Yeah.
Now, how has it resonated with you guys personally? You know, obviously you get such a great feedback from that. You know, what does it mean to you to have that kind of momentum, especially being a band just starting off? You know, you guys really hit the gas pretty hard going starting. What does it mean to you?
Scary.
I think it is a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking.
I usually don't get nervous about a whole lot of things with this band, but like just that already you can kind of start to feel that sense of like, I got to keep this going. We got to keep,
It's like,
I said, we got to keep the,
Momentum rolling.
yeah, thank you. Too nervous to do this shit, man. But there's a little bit of that pressure to just keep things really going. And it's like, do I want to do that? I've been a little busy for forever, so I kind of want to break at some point. And Jesus, but it's also just because I've been recording otherwise for like a year on top of this. So
Matt's in a really cool band called End of the Line, and they've been working on an LP, and they've already released a few, releases and super cool stuff, but he has been very, very busy with that. So the fact that Matt's been able to, one, make two bands work is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And also being able to dedicate the time that he does to the band, like
Huge.
recording, comping. So when we got together to record the EP, he and I anointed ourselves as engineers, and Matt took care of all the bullshit, like the cables, the mic checks, all of that stuff, like the levels, like the compressor coming in on this and that, and the EQ, and like just like when we were tracking, everything was taken care of by Matt, so that the rest of us can just be musicians. And then I hopped into the mixing stage of that, but like it wouldn't have gotten to where it was without Matt's genuine dedication to it. So.
this is only
Thank
the
you, Matt.
this is only the second EP that I've recorded ever, and the last time it was just me and the guitarist, and we had programmed drums. We made that work, but like this was and then I did the two singles with them, and that's when I got into recording with this band. And it helps that, being in a prog metal band, you have to have everything all perfect for your in-ear rigs and all that. So it helps to like get really good at that when I got into recording with Lucky Girl Syndrome. And I already had like a session file for all the demos and pre-production that we did too. So everything's basically set up. All I had to actually do was start caring about the inputs and all that, because Tony's voice is extremely dynamic, for example. So they'll go from quiet to like, when they do their screams especially, like it would clip every time. Like it's a demo, I don't care, but I had to actually start caring during the recording.
Oh, and the funny thing about the recording process was, even after all that time and care, some of my screams were still clipping so hard.
But they sounded good.
And they sounded good,
so I
but
didn't
like
think anything about
it was crazy, because I got into mixing it and I was like, wow, okay, maybe I need to start like thinking about how I'm using this thing, because oh man, I graphic redesigned the ending of it. I scream a lot, and there's like 3 scream layers that are just stacked, and one you couldn't use one because I was like, oh, it sounds a little like crunchy. But when you stack all 3 of them, smash them with a limiter, and tweak some things here and there, it sounded really cool. So I was like, yeah, I was, destroying the mic, but
You were just loud on those screams. 'Cause the rest of it was fine for the most part, right?
yeah, no, everything else was fine. It was just specifically, and I am the loudest screamer of the band. I push really hard, and it doesn't hurt that much, so it's fine.
There you go.
I thought you were gonna blow your voice out.
Yeah, no, it's like it's
What
crazy.
happens when you're raised on AC/DC?
Literally, callback after callback. No, like literally, like. I don't know, man. I almost passed out doing some of those screams too. Like during
He has
coordination.
asthma.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Normally
inhalers.
there's an inhaler
Shots
right
fired.
during the show.
This show has been
Matches
brought
your
to you
shirt.
by albuterol.
Yeah, sure. Oh my god. Okay, well, my next tattoo right up I want to get albuterol sulfate tattooed right above my kneecaps, because I think that would be really cool. But my mom doesn't really like the idea. Shout out mom again.
Mom, calling back to the mom.
It's a good reminder to take your inhaler, though. You see it every day.
that thing never
Right.
leaves my pocket. Shout out my inhaler.
Shout out inhaler. To all the asthmatics out there.
That's right.
Oh,
we have a sticker.
Do I
for
have the
it.
sticker?
we do.
on me?
Yeah.
You might.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't know if you can see. Post-hardcore for asthmatics.
Yeah.
there you go.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Take
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's even got some flavor on it.
I know. It's because
What
it was sitting
is
in my
that?
wallet.
That's
Oh, it just
awesome.
looks a little crunkled. A little crunkled.
It's like the leather like bits from my wallet.
you got
This thing is
Weather
like,
bits?
No, I said leather
Oh.
bits.
You hate when I get weather bits all over my stickers. That's the worst.
Don't get me started on leather bits. And whips.
Whoa.
Good.
That's funny.
Any questions?
Kinda. Well, I guess we're coming to the end of our interview, but before that, what's so every band that we interview always has a different idea of what making it is to them, and obviously every band is different. What's Lucky Girl Syndrome's idea of making it? Like when you guys are like, "Fuck, we made it."
You know what I want? I just want people to like pack the Beat Kitchen and sing our songs back to us. That's all I want. That anything after that is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But that point, I've seen so many bands at the Beat Kitchen. Like one of funny enough, one of my first shows after like the pandemic that I saw was at the Beat Kitchen. Nova Charisma, Vagrants, and The Skies Are Shifting.
Hey.
And that was the first day I ever met Jack. I was in the bar and he was just moving his cab, and I was like, "Great set, dude." He was like, "Thanks." And then a year or so, or a year and a half later, we were in a band, and I didn't realize it until like we were rehearsing, and I'm like, "It's that guy." And like I remember seeing that show, just like there were so many people there, not just for Nova Charisma, but like people locally, and it was the first time that I was like, this can like be something, and I think that's like that's my cherry. Everything else is a cherry on top of a cherry, but like, something like that is just what I want.
Now, for anybody starting off in music, what would you tell, like, any words of encouragement to any younger musicians or just anybody like starting their musical career?
Nothing is ever wrong. Keep making mistakes. If you're gonna be a stickler about it, you can learn the rules, but always make sure to figure out how to break them as well.
That's
yourself.
profound.
You should actually practice. If you're gonna tell yourself you're gonna practice, you should actually
You
practice.
actually should.
And I would also
valid.
encourage anyone, no matter what instrument you're doing, also learn how to sing. It'll make you a better musician. I wish I'd learned to actually sing when I was younger. I can just yell now. But singing probably would have been cooler overall. Am I wrong?
Hey, you scream really well, so that's perfect for us.
You do.
Thanks.
I forgot the question.
Yeah.
No, I remember now.
Oh,
Got anything to add now that you remember?
I already said be
Oh.
yourself, but for real this time.
But for real.
true.
Oh yeah, just like do it with your friends.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I don't know. Just it's important to find people that will accept you.
Yeah, if you don't like who you're playing
Right.
with, like, what the hell's the point?
Right,
It's
exactly.
Not gonna, it's gonna end up not working out at some point. Like,
That's
it's
true.
got to be a thing that everyone does want to do together. Otherwise, it might be a decent band. It might last a little bit,
Yeah,
but
you'll probably make an iconic album. But
yeah, but like there isn't if there isn't that camaraderie with it, it's could be hard to find more pride in it, I guess. It could feel more like, oh yeah, that's a gig I did. Yeah, I played in that band. I recorded that album. And then that's just all I say about it,
I think what makes this band so successful is the energy when we're all together. It feels like when you're like 10 or 11 at like a sleepover for the first time.
Yeah.
And like it's like somebody will say something and it was like the funniest thing you've ever heard, and then like just somebody going like bloop, and it's like and the whole room explodes, and now we're off to the races.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't put it back in the bottle once it comes out.
The group chat's been wild with that lately too.
oh my god, it
Between me
has.
and Lucas.
Just like noises.
Didn't I
like,
say something just today, or was it yesterday?
oh, you know what? I'm gonna say, start a band that you can stim with.
That's so real.
The old adage
Oh
has
my
always
God.
been music, money, and hangs. You need at least 2 out of the 3 of those. And this band kind of has all 3, but it absolutely has music and hangs.
Yeah. forefront
Like
for sure.
you could hang out with these guys without any music being involved, and you're just having so much fucking fun.
Oh, we're gonna grill so much this
Yeah.
summer. Oh, we're gonna get in the carport and put on
Lucky
some
grill
sausages.
syndrome.
New shirt. New
that
shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, but yeah.
Writing it down. That's awesome.
Shout out George Foreman.
Yo, he
Yeah.
died. He fucking died.
Oh,
Shout out.
Yeah, R.I.P. George
That's
Foreman.
crazy.
Yeah,
I don't
fuck,
know
dude,
if
that's
he was a
nuts, dude.
Neither do I, but he
So
made
I
a
don't
grill.
want to outwardly
He was
support
on.
Fair enough.
He was
an
on Drake
episode
and
of-
Josh.
Yeah, and on an episode.
Everyone
of
on that
That's
show
So
was
Raven.
great, right?
it. Right, like that doesn't mean anything.
Oh man.
Did you like pickles on your burger? Ugh. God.
If Lucky Girl Syndrome can open up for any band in the world, who would they open up for?
Oh god, that's tough. I'm gonna say my dream, and I'm gonna say the most attainable, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting.
My dream, Circa Survive. I love them so
true.
much. I miss them so
true.
goddamn much. I get.
Anywhere
I might start crying just thinking about that.
Anthony Green has the most angelic voice in the
Oh my
fucking world.
God.
Like,
So
literally,
I
like,
swear to God, dude.
every single album, 7 albums. It's front to back, perfect every time. I've met Anthony Green before. One of the nicest, coolest dudes ever. He gave me a hug, and I almost cried. It was great.
He doesn't
but
miss.
yeah, I know.
He just doesn't miss.
No, he doesn't. But I mean, he kind of missed with Ellis Dunes, but that's fine.
Agree to disagree.
Okay. I'm glad people like them because I tried. I saw them at Riot Fest. I tried, but it just didn't click for me. So I'm glad people rock with that because they're still doing really cool stuff. But I truly think at some point we could open up for Hail the Sun. I think we know enough people within the Chicago scene and the West Coast scene that it's genuinely attainable. I think Chicago itself is going to pop the fuck off when it comes to post-hardcore within the next 5 years. I mean, we got Skies, When We Was Kids, us, and Tillian, and more bands keep popping up that are kind of from this style of post-hardcore, and I think it's just a ticking time bomb to where there's like a Kill Iconic Chicago festival, and some of our bands are on there, because I genuinely think that they have their eyes on us. Like, maybe that's delusion talking, but like,
I don't think it's actually.
Well, this
I
band
don't think it's
Origami Button just got. I think they're touring with Follow Troy right now.
Yeah.
But they're also part of the Kill Iconic crew recently.
yeah.
So I mean, Chicago has had their eyes. People have had their eyes on Chicago, but for some reason, a lot of people think that in order to make it in like the post-hardcore genre specifically, you have to go to like California and stuff,
Right, yeah.
or like Texas or
You know,
something.
and it makes sense because like the powerhouses came from there.
Yeah.
You know what
that's
I
very
mean?
much true. Do you guys think, or what do you guys think it'll take for the post-hardcore scene to be like a big thing here in Chicago, and we don't have to go to fucking California?
I
anymore?
honestly think just what we're doing. You know, like it,
Supporting each other.
yeah, exactly. Like things like shouting out Modest merch. He makes merch for everybody. The more people talk, like little things like we got a bunch of followers from when he posted our shirt that he made on his Instagram, just like what he normally does. But he linked our music in the post, and people followed from that. It's the little things like that. And also like shout out the boy Chris Lamb in When We Was Kids. Like every time Fall of Troy comes through, he goes on stage and sings with them. They know each other. It's the coolest thing in the world. And just little connections like that, I think, will trickle down because like we played with When We Was Kids multiple times. We'll inevitably play with them again. Same with all the other bands. And I think the more and more people talk about what's happening here, I think it's just going to inevitably burst.
Yeah, well said,
Yeah, no, this city's fucking cool.
Love this city.
There used to be, I mean, the Chicago punk scene was a huge thing. The Chicago indie scene from like 2014 to now was super huge. I truly think we're on the cusp of something new, something different that's going to happen. And I don't want to say that we're leading it because there's no fucking way we are.
No.
But all of us are collectively, coming together and leading. And like Faith said, community is, I think the other than like getting along with the band and having fun with each other, that's the second most important thing. It's just the community that you can cultivate. Because, you can play any bar, you can play with any random bands, but like our last show, house show, EP release show, we played with 3 bands that were just all friends, and the vibe was incredible. It's things like that make you blow up, so to say.
And the house was packed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you
good
couldn't see out
turnout.
the front window. It was crazy. I mean, like, we got some cool video footage of it and everything, and just seeing people like packed like sardines. You know,
That's all it takes.
me when my speech impediment hits.
Saudis.
Sardines.
Sorry.
But it's things like that it's just like, again, I think just doing what we do is going to be fine for us, and you know, anything that comes from that, it will take with open arms.
Well, we're getting about just that time to wrap up, and you know, I think you put it on a great note there. For you said community, building up that community, building up the camaraderie and the people you meet throughout the experience, I think, is mostly the journey in itself too. You know, we wish you guys nothing but the best of luck in the future. Y'all are super fun to hang out and chat with. It's been quite a riot tonight, so we greatly appreciate you guys swinging on in by the show and introducing yourselves and letting the world know a little bit more about your band. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Are there any last words you'd like to send out to the world before we wrap up the show?
Stream, it's just too easy.
Yeah, stream is just too
There you
easy.
go.
Shout out Don's Grill. Shout out Stacy. Shout out Mike Modest Merch.
Shout out Devansh.
Yeah,
Shout out our friend
Devon.
Devansh.
Yeah.
He's our video guy and photographer guy. Great dude. He's gonna. We filmed our our show the other night, and that's gonna come out at some point. So that'll be really cool.
And then also next month, after you've listened to the EP a bunch, you could see how it was made, because we're
Yeah.
dropping a documentary about it.
Cool.
Oh yeah, and shout out Jess for the album cover.
Yes.
Cozy City
yeah.
Reveries.
Yes,
Shout out Tony's mom for watching.
Yeah, shout out my mom. Shout out my dad too. I don't know if he's watching, but he's there.
Larry.
Yeah, Larry, my boy Larry.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at LuckyGirlSyndrome999.
Yeah,
Dial
Pay attention,
999,
because we're
it's a
gonna
good time.
we're gonna have so many things coming up soon.
yeah, we got that May 4th Burlington show, and then we got another little show coming up. We'll be playing Subterranean this summer. I'm not gonna say anything past that because it's still a little secret, but you'll catch us at Sub T sometime in June. So
Hell yeah.
keep your eyes open.
peeled.
Oh, and then merch pre-order.
Yes.
We're gonna do that soon. We'll announce that on our Instagram. Let everyone know. But yeah, got some really cool stuff up at the pipeline.
Hell yeah.
Terrific. Well, again, we wish you nothing but the best of luck, and keep rocking and rolling. You guys are really kicking ass.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us, you guys.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, Lucky Girl Syndrome, all of their information is down in the description below. Check them out on Instagram. Again, they're going to be posting more of that merchandise availability coming soon. And again, do not forget, May the 4th be with you. Burlington Bar, check them out. They're going to be live. Again, May 4th, Burlington Bar. Check out Lucky Girl Syndrome.
And this is the bar, not the coat factory, right?
The bar, not the coat factory. Bring your coats. If you want to wear your fur and look like a Wookiee, you're more than welcome.
No, if you show up and wearing a fur, I'm gonna give you a free T-shirt because that's cool.
That's cool as hell.
They will not splash red paint on you.
No,
You can wear your furs. They're already dead. Get some fox fur. Just saying. That's what people do. People are anti-fur. I don't know. Not us.
I love fur.
I do too.
Ease.
Yeah.
Shout out furries.
Shout out furries. You know what's a fun thing I heard the other day? I actually just heard it sitting in my car before I came in. Do you know what the official car for furries is?
Is it Subarus?
No.
Is
It's for
it?
lesbians.
Is it
Kinda.
You're going to laugh at me when I say
Is
it.
it Hondas?
It is a Kia Soul. The Kia Soul. The official car of furries.
What do you think
Sell
she
it.
drives?
Sell it before the Kia boys steal it. Just word to the wise.
Jack, I'm starting to think that maybe they didn't steal your Kia Soul. Maybe you just said that.
No, the Kia boys got
Kia
me.
boys got
The Kia
you.
boys got me.
What?
And now I'm thinking they were fucking furries because they left their underwear in my car. Yeah. No furry masks, just underwear.
Yo,
Wait,
That's crazy.
foul once.
It's a little taste to draw you in.
They said extra flavor for that one.
That's the appetizer.
That is crazy.
That car, I can only imagine, looked like a Bukkake video.
It's like that scene in the other guys. You know?
How did it smell?
Sorry, children.
I should have put Bukkake in the do not mention.
My apologies. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, children.
Yeah, this show is not made for children, this episode.
We got one last comment.
Yeah, we do got one last comment from Ewo saying shout out. We also had one from Long Champ.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Long Champ? Says, put a gimme on?
I don't know what that is.
Well, shout out to Long Champ and Ewo.
I gotta Google this.
Long champ.
We all got some
I
more
gotta
Twitter to
Google
go
this now.
tonight after the show. But we're going to wrap it up here. This show was definitely not brought to you by furries or Kia Souls or Hyundais.
But if
definitely-
some furries want to sponsor us,
Hey, we like furries. Just don't fuck with our cars.
or if Kia wants to sponsor us,
No, fuck that. No, they can eat it.
or if Honda wants to sponsor us,
Maybe we'll be sponsored by Albuterol.
go beautiful.
The puff that saves you enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the slogan right there, bro.
Well, I should. Damn, I should write jingles. Albuterol, the puff that drives the stuff. Yeah. Whoa. I'll get working on it. But we're going to wrap it up here, you guys. Again, thank you for joining us here at Hawkwind's Radio Picture Show. Again, hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Share this video. Share any of our videos. Check out a new video of ours. We, again, highlight bands every single week here on our show. Check out all of our other videos. You never know what you're going to find next. And, at the end of every show, me and Jay always send everyone out with a little challenge. Can I take this one? I think
Do
I
it, bro.
got
It's
a
all
good
you.
one.
Go
We're
ahead.
talking about community in this show and in shows past. I'm going to encourage folks, get out there and be a part of the community. Go join a group. Go join a music venue. Go wherever you can be to get in on the action of the things that interest you. If you're looking for some good ones, again, there's a lot of great shows going around the city right now. If you're a bike enthusiast, Critical Mass is coming up this Friday. It's the last Friday of the month. If you're a big enthusiast in bikes, that's a great way to get into community. But find what that community is. Go on Facebook, do some research. There's plenty of weirdos out there for everybody, and I mean that in the most sincere way possible. There's a lot of other people out there that think and act and have they're on the same frequency as you, and they're waiting to meet you. So get out there and go make some new friends.
What's the alley's slogan?
Freaks, geeks, and weirdos.
There you go.
Misfits and weirdos.
There you go.
We got room for everyone. That's right. Absolutely. So yeah, go out and find your friends. Go out and find that group. You never know, you might make a very new best friend. But let's send it on out of here. Thank you guys again for joining. My name is Jack Dwyer.
And I'm Jay Smooth.
You guys have a great night and a great week. We'll see you next week.
Peace.